El pasado lunes 1 de abril, el ex campeón mundial de WWE, CM Punk, fue entrevistado por Ariel Helwani para su programa MMA Hour. Dicha entrevista ha generado bastante repercusión debido a que Punk habló sobre varios temas bastante interesantes como lo son su reciente regreso a WWE, su reencuentro con Vince y su opinión sobre las recientes acusaciones en su contra o su polémica salida de AEW, llegando incluso a revelar que llamó payaso a Tony Khan y que piensa que el presidente de AEW es solamente un buen tipo pero no un buen jefe. Además, Punk habló sobre el incidente con Jack Perry que causó su salida de la empresa y también contó una anécdota que tuvo con Chris Benoit y su hijo pocas semanas antes de morir. Es por esto que he decidido hacer un resumen de la entrevista con las mejores partes subtituladas para que puedan disfrutar de sus declaraciones. Así que sin más dilación, aquí les dejo lo mejor de la entrevista de Punk. La entrevista comienza con Punk y Helwani saludándose y la primera pregunta que le hace es sobre su estado de salud y sobre cómo se encuentra su lesión.
Before we get into everything, and I can't wait to talk to you about all of this, most importantly, how are you feeling? How is the tricep?
I feel really, really good. You know, I think there's part of me that doesn't want everybody to know. You know, I want to keep it a bit of a secret, but I feel way better than I think I should.
Okay.
It's given me sort of a false sense of security. And there's very much the hockey player in my head just like, oh, you could have made Mania. You could have just taped it up and, you know.
Really?
Yeah, they're protecting me against myself, though.
You think you actually could have been involved in a physical way?
I like I said, they're protecting me against myself, which
Are doctors
is a
backing this up?
welcome change.
Yes,
100%. Like I love it. You know, I'm the one that's trying to push everything based on protocols for, you know, ruptured tricep tendon, but you know they're telling me to pump the brakes, and I'm just sitting back listening to them as best I can.
You have torn that tricep.
Yeah.
Is it the exact same injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Felt the same?
No, this one didn't feel like anything, and didn't hurt at all. It just felt like a rubber band snapped in my arm. This one, I very seldomly use the word agonizing. This was very, very painful.
Wow.
Yeah, it hurt like hell.
And it happened in the Royal Rumble match?
Yep, it made me optimistic because I was like, oh, well, certainly I didn't tear it off the bone like the other one. Like maybe I don't know, because it hurt. Like I knew immediately.
Wow.
I was just like, oh, this isn't good.
How far into the match? Do you remember the moment it happened?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, not that far into it. I still had a bit to go.
Luego de hablar sobre su situación actual, Helwani le preguntó a Punk sobre su regreso y cómo se gestó todo, a lo que Punk respondió mencionando que todo inició cuando recibió una llamada de Nick Khan el lunes previo a Survivor Series, es decir, el lunes 20 de noviembre. Punk revela que luego el jueves 23 habló con Triple H y fue ahí cuando ya se llegó a un acuerdo. Sin embargo, el luchador no firmó el contrato hasta minutos antes de salir a escena en Survivor Series. Aquí sus palabras.
Most interesting to start with is the return, if we can. So, WWE is back in Chicago, Survivor Series, November 2023.
Mm-hmm.
You return. When does that ball start to roll?
Slight percentages, I think, over the years start that ball rolling, but to really get in, like the action of it started the week of, I think, Thanksgiving, maybe. So I got a call from Nick Khan. And he was just like, hey, we want to talk to you. And I was like, cool. On my way to the gym, and I got this coming up, CFFC. I'll be back there. Cool. You want to talk Monday? Great. So it was the week of Thanksgiving, Monday. I spoke to him.
And to be clear, for those that may not know, Survivor Series was the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Thanksgiving is a Thursday.
Yeah, so Monday
of that week,
before I came back.
That's 5 days away from Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You get the call.
Yeah.
What was that call like?
I think the call, I'm always so nervous about pulling the curtain back on stuff, but I think the call was more of a, hey, we want to talk to you about coming back. You know, we'd love you for Royal Rumble, you know, and because they assumed that I probably had some sort of a non-compete or something like that, and were kind of floored when I was like, no, man, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Saturday.
Did you ever have a non-compete, even if it was for a month?
No.
Zero. You could have signed the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. So from that phone call to a deal being struck, how long does it take?
I mean, every single minute of all those days, it really ramped up because it was like, hey, I want to talk to you about coming back. Okay. You know, this is how I feel. Oh, well, this is how I feel. Okay, great. You know, I'd really love to talk to Triple H. And then when I spoke to him, that's when the ball really got rolling, you know, because it was a very, I asked him if he wanted to talk on the phone, and he said, no, I would actually rather I would like to FaceTime you so I could see you. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know, and we just talked about a whole lot of stuff, and about, you know, stuff that was at one point serious to probably both of us that is like silly now. And we just kind of laughed, buried a hatchet. And then we started talking business. And I was like, man, this is like Thanksgiving. I don't want to bother you. You're with your girls. Like, you know, we can talk about it later. But then I was just like, oh, well, Friday, and then the show's Saturday. It all got done very, very fast. My lawyer was not stoked to be working OT on Thanksgiving, but he gets paid handsomely, so.
Mientras seguía hablando de su llamada con Triple H, Punk hizo un paréntesis para recordar su aparición en Raw en mayo del año pasado, que como recordarán fue una noticia bastante sonada, dado que se informó que el luchador fue visto conversando con Hunter en backstage, pero que fue sacado de la arena por orden directa de Vince McMahon. Además, Punk menciona que en AEW se molestaron por su visita a la empresa rival. Sobre este tema, Punk dijo lo siguiente.
What was it? The initial FaceTime call?
God, I don't know, Ariel. We chatted for a while, you know. Because I saw him, I don't know when it was, where I went to the building to visit people and I got thrown out.
That was in May, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw him for like a heartbeat there, you know, and I saw him back in May, and, you know, and then I think he had to make a phone call, and somebody was like, now get him out of the building. All right, cool.
Was that Vince's call?
Yeah.
And did you show up unannounced?
Yeah.
No one invited you?
Yeah, I was, again, I did a CFFC and I was on a flight back to Chicago, and I was sitting next to a guy named Jason Jordan, he was a wrestler, got a neck injury, and now he's been a producer for WWE for quite some time. And like the last time I saw him was every bit of a decade ago, when I was doing like some charity stuff for Steve Kern. This is pre-NXT, it was called FCW. Mm-hmm. And I see him and I'm looking at him, and like he looks at me and he says hi, and I'm like, oh shit, dude doesn't recognize me, okay, you know. And then all of a sudden he turns and he looks and he's like, holy shit, what are you doing here? And I was like, yeah, I thought it was you, you know. And I'm chatting with him, and I see all these other wrestlers getting on the plane and stuff like that. And then there's a whole gap. There's a generation of people that I never met that started pretty much right after I left, 2014, 2015. Nice lady by the name of Liv Morgan helped me find my earbuds that fell out of my pocket while I was sleeping on the flight. She was a sweetheart. She like, whole plane empties and she's like on her hands and knees, like looking around. She's got small hands. She's like digging under the seats and, you know, and looking for stuff. And then my friend Bailey messaged me and she's like, oh, my friend Liv was on the flight with you. She says you were so nice to her. I was like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, we have a show in Chicago. You should come visit. Throwing Bailey under the bus now. Huh. Yeah, it's all her fault. And then I laughed because like I landed, got on the train, went home, and I was, you know, I'm no wife, no dog. I don't have anything to do, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit my friend Bailey, and I went.
And that was your first time back since 2014, backstage at a WWE event.
Yeah. I went to visit people.
There was no ulterior motive.
I'm the old timer in the business, and there's a show in town. I wasn't trying to get a job or anything. I literally went, and I saw, like, the few people that I saw before I got thrown out. Like it was all, I saw Miz, saw Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin. Like, everybody was just so nice and kind. You know, that's the only reason I went. Maybe for free catering. Yeah.
Were you mad that they asked you to leave, or did you understand?
I expected it. You know, I expected that to go. I wasn't sure if Vince was there, I think he was doing stuff remote via Zoom, you know, because this is in between, like, Vince is gone, now he's back, and I didn't know the politics of things. I just went to go say hi to Bailey, a few other people.
Did anyone from AEW get mad that you were there?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about that.
I think the word betrayed was used, and I was just like, all right, man. Like, as a company, you're allowing guys to go on their television show to do things. I went backstage to say hi to friends. It's two completely different things. Like, you know, if you're going to be mad about it, okay.
Luego de esto, CM Punk comenzó a hablar sobre lo mucho que ha mejorado el ambiente del vestuario en WWE desde la última vez que estuvo ahí. Incluso mencionó que cuando hizo su regreso en noviembre, un trabajador de la empresa le dijo que él había sido parte de ese cambio en el ambiente del vestuario que se empezó a gestar antes de su salida en el 2014. Posteriormente, el Wonny le preguntó sobre Vince McMahon y sobre si lo había visto desde que regresó, a lo que Punk mencionó que solo lo vio una vez. El Wonny aprovechó el momento para preguntarle sobre las acusaciones que hay en contra de Vince, a lo que el Chicago Mate respondió mencionando que estas son horribles e indefendibles. Punk comparó el caso de Vince con el de Chris Benoit, y además contó una curiosa anécdota que tuvo con el hijo de Benoit apenas una semana antes del terrible suceso ya conocido. Aquí les dejo sus palabras.
In the last few months, at any point did you have a face-to-face with Vince?
I saw him at the Towers. It was a SmackDown, and that night they were just like, do you want to come on the jet? You do NXT? And I just went, yeah, sounds great. So we're flying by the seat of our pants. We're doing all this stuff real last minute. And I had a carry-on, so I didn't have any clothes. So, you know, as long as you guys find me a place to do my laundry, I need a gym, I got to work out. You know, oh, we'll give you a tour of the new Towers. You know, you come to the gym. Oh, great. It's always a badass gym. Everything was state of the art, and I was in there. And I was on the phone on a treadmill warming up, and Vince's trainer's like, "Hey," he's like, "You got to get off the phone. Vince doesn't like it when people are on the phone and you're in the gym." And I was on the phone with Nick, I was just kind of like, oh, "Okay, you know, all right," you know. And then I saw him walking down into the gym. He came in for his daily workout. Yeah.
And what was that like?
He gave me a big hug. He said, "Welcome home. Good to see you. Let's connect after I work out." And I was like, "All right." Haven't seen him since.
You didn't connect?
No. I think some stuff came up, Ariel.
Oh, I thought maybe literally, like, is that the only conversation that you've had with him since returning? Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what's transpired since?
I mean, how do you feel? There's no positivity there. You know, there's very much I didn't read all the allegations. I read text messages, and I went, "Oh, fuck this. Like, what? It's indefensible," you know? And I think, you know, doing this, I'd imagined I was going to be asked about it, you know? And I think the easiest thing for people to do is to kind of ignore it or avoid it. But man, it's there. And my initial first thing out of my mouth was, I'm kind of shocked at how dumb he was, like writing stuff down and leaving that paper trail. And it's horrific. And I'm not, like, I think at this point, all the energy should be used to somehow, I don't even know if you can make reparations or amends, but there's victims here, you know? So like what CM Punk thinks about Vince and the CM Punk-Vince relationship doesn't fucking mean anything. All that stuff takes a back seat. I'm more concerned about, like, going forward, how do those people survive after suffering all that trauma? My biggest concern, you know?
Do you think that the business is better off if he's not in it?
At this point, how do you say anything but no? But yeah, the business.
Right.
Have a field there at that one. How do you say anything but yes? The business is better without
Obviously, you weren't around for the last 10 years, but did you know? You know, let's be honest. Vince McMahon wasn't an angel. Everyone knew that he wasn't an angel. But this is like next level. This is evil, right? Like this is next level stuff. Yeah. If what is being alleged is true, right? Did you have any idea that this type of behavior was going on behind the scenes?
No. And again, the biggest thing I can draw a comparison to is when Chris Benoit did a murder-suicide, right? I was friends with Chris Benoit. And I don't know if it's just how I process things, but I'm famously like on camera weeping, you know, saying goodbye to Chris because at the time we didn't know, right? We didn't know he had, you know, murdered his wife and his son. And the week prior, we're in Dothan, Alabama, and I'm traveling with him, and we're on the road, and he grabs me and runs me into the trainer's room, and he points, and his little son is in the corner, and he's taped up his hands, and he's drawn X's on his hands, you know? So, like, coming to terms with, that's my friend, he did this horrible thing. Obviously, fuck him, fuck that. But then, you know, like I don't have memories of Chris Benoit traveling with me and you know, murdering people at the gym.
Right. So
there was never any instances where I'd, you know, be in a room with Vince and he's shitting on somebody or sexually assaulting somebody. You know, it wasn't like Caligula in Rome. We just didn't see it, you know? But there's that part of me that goes, just like Benoit, okay. I can see that. I mean, it's very, very hard to reconcile. I heard what Becky said, where she, you know, like, because Vince is a father figure to a lot of people. Vince, I think, liked to develop the father relationship, and I think that's why he was always fascinated with me, because I was just like, fuck you, I got a dad. I don't, you know, you're my boss. Like, let's just keep it that way. But it's been a while. Like, it's just been wild, all that shit. It's sad. He ruined his life. And he ruined his life, ruining other people's lives. You know, so there's very much a part of me that's just like, all right, we got him, good. Shuffle him into the basement.
En ese momento, Punk fue cuestionado por sus planes para WrestleMania 40, a lo que respondió que cree que los planes eran enfrentarlo a Seth Rollins en la noche 1. El Wonny le preguntó si estaba contento con eso o prefería enfrentar a alguien más como Reigns o Cody Rhodes. Punk respondió que no y que aunque él es consciente de que si le preguntan a cualquier luchador del roster que a quién quiere enfrentar, todos dirían que a Reigns, pero él acepta su rol secundario ya que incluso es casi un luchador retirado. El Wonny aprovechó esta respuesta para preguntarle a Punk sobre cómo está actualmente su relación con el jefe tribal y le recordó el beef que tuvieron en 2021 después de que Punk dijera que Reigns no había llegado a los niveles de The Rock o John Cena, utilizando el término "moved the needle", que traducido al español significa algo como mover la aguja, haciendo referencia a un tablero de carro. Reigns respondió haciendo referencias en redes sociales diciendo que él era un verdadero needle mover, dando a entender que él atraía gente y audiencias. Punk respondió a la pregunta del Wonny diciendo que esas son cosas del negocio y que ha llegado a WWE para hacer dinero y no amigos. Sin embargo, no mencionó nada sobre cómo es su relación con Reigns. Tras esto, CM Punk habló sobre su salida de AEW y toda la polémica que se generó alrededor de su altercado con Jack Perry el pasado 2 de septiembre del 2023 en Londres. En la entrevista, Punk habló por primera vez sobre lo sucedido horas antes del show cuando no lo fueron a recoger al aeropuerto de Londres y sobre el altercado con Perry, explicando detalladamente todo lo sucedido desde el primer incidente que tuvieron semanas antes de su pelea en backstage. Así que sin más dilación, aquí les dejo sus palabras.
August of 2023, London. You arrive in London.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, go ahead.
How does that go? What happens?
There's nobody there to pick me up, and it's not a big deal. I just got on the tube, and I was like, adventure, you know? And
You have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, but that part was fun. But it's completely irresponsible as a company to, you know, leave somebody stranded at the airport. But, you know, I understand the sentiments. You know, people, you know, all the smarties on Twitter, like, oh, can't you just take an Uber? Will you, big crybaby? I never cried about it once. Not once.
How do people find out about these things?
Well, there were fans on the tube.
Okay.
And they're taking
Yes,
pictures.
okay.
You know, like I'm sitting there, I'm just sitting on the tube, and I'm just like, this is neat.
Did you feel like adult?
I'm still the guy. When I fly in and out of Chicago, I take the Blue Line home.
Right.
I'm not trying to, you know, be super fancy and shit like that.
Where are you backstage? Jack Perry's on screen, and he says, "Real glass. Why don't you cry about it?" Where are you when this is said?
I was in my locker room.
Did you feel like that was directed at you?
Yes.
Why?
Okay, it obviously was directed at me.
Well, because, okay, so for those that may not know, apparently he had a trip planned. He wanted to use glass. You were consulted. You said, why would you use glass? Correct me, you lived it. So I'm trying to bring people up to speed.
This is one of those things where it's just like, there's all these rumors about NDAs.
Yes.
There's a big difference between not being allowed to talk about some shit or just not wanting to talk about some shit. I don't necessarily want to litigate this again. Tony's big idea was separate show. We're going to separate everybody. And I said, that'll never work. Just let me go. Just get me out of here. Just pay me my money. I've already been off TV. I hurt this arm. Just get me out of here. You know, no, I can't let you go. Why? Just let me go. Who cares? It's best. I mean, these guys don't want me here. This isn't a real business. This isn't a business predicated on making money, drawing money, selling tickets, you know, doing business. It's not what it was sold to me as. So let me go. No, I can't let you go. I'm going to do this new show. You're going to have blah, blah, blah. And then the second day we have this show, I'm sitting in catering, minding my own business, and Tony Schiavone comes and gets me, and he's like, hey, I really need your help. And I was like, what? He's like, Jack is, you know, cussing me out, and he's cussed out Mike Mansouri, and he cussed out Daryl from production, and he's cussing out the doctor right now. Why? What? And I was immediately like, dude isn't supposed to be here. You know, I was told people are getting separated, so there's not problems, and you don't want me involved in this because just like everything else I've explained before, like, y'all need to handle this, because if you don't, I'm going to handle it, and you're not going to like the way I handle it. Prophetic words. So he's begging me. Now, please, he drags me out of catering. I go up. Hook and Jack are doing an angle. I don't know anything about Jack going on vacation. All I know is there's a litany of people that don't want, they work one day a week and they don't want to. So they want to show up and wrestle and then film vignettes and then sit at home for 4 weeks. Great, not my company. Do what you want. But not on my show. That was my attitude. So I said, Tony, you really want me doing this? Yeah. And I walked up to Jack and he was sitting in a car. What he wanted to do, it was a rental car. What he wanted to do was smash the window of the rental car with a pipe. And I was just like, it's a rental car. And I very politely, because I like Jack, I was just like, Doc's told you no, Daryl's told you no, Mike's told you no, Shivani's told you no, and now I have to tell you no. And apparently you've cussed them all out, so I'm telling you no. We don't do that here. If you want to do this, go to Wednesday and do it, right? And he had no problem. He said, okay. He said, well, I just thought it was a really cool idea. And I said, it might be, but this is a rental car. The boys ruin it for the boys. You're going to smash the window of a rental car and you're going to return it with no fucking window. And now whatever national budget Hertz, whatever, is going to be like, don't rent cars to pro wrestlers anymore. This is a thing that's happened.
Right.
This is, so I wasn't trying to throw my weight around. I wasn't like, this is my show and you gotta get out of here. I was just like, this is fucking dumb, man. And he wanted to do it so he didn't have to fly back to Canada. And I, sorry, man, we're privileged to be in this business. We're privileged to do this for a living. Like, I get it. I didn't want to go to Canada either. All the flights were delayed, canceled. Everybody's travel sucked. But to come to this new show when everyone's supposed to be separated, to get rid of all the drama, and then, swearing at the doctor because the doctor's like, it's real glass. You're gonna, like, shit's gonna go in your eye. Like, and I get it. I used to be that kid that was like, young and I want to do this, but there's a safe way to do it. And I politely explained that to him. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cuss at him. I was just like, I very much just said, we don't do that here. This is Saturday. It's a different show. If you want to do stuff like this, do it on Wednesday. That was it. I didn't think there was going to be a problem. He obviously...
So he says that, clearly a shot at you, as you said. Match is over. He goes to the back. What happens?
I went to Tony and I was just like...
Which Tony, by the way? Khan. Okay.
And I was like, please handle that. Like, please. And he was like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, I'm not telling you what to do. Just be the boss, please. Like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, I told you this was a mistake. And I told you separate shows wasn't going to work. And now we're all here. And, like, please handle it. Because if you don't, you're not going to like the way I handle it.
Did he handle it?
No. No.
So you did?
Yes.
What happened?
Jack came back from his match. I was the next match. I'm sitting there. And I got people with me. I'm not going to say who they are, because I got a lot of friends who work there, and I wish them all well, and I don't want them to be punished because they're friends with me, And I walk up to him, and I'm just like, Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit, like on TV, And he's just like, well, if you got a problem about it, do something about it. And I was just like, man, come on, man. I'll fucking kill you. Like, what are we doing, And it just, it's like Chael says, sometimes you just can't let you get close, I thought I was doing a responsible thing, I didn't punch anybody. I just choked somebody a little bit. Samoa Joe was there, told me to stop, and then I quit. I turned to Tony and I said, this place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit. I went to my room, and then Joe and Jerry Lynn came and got me, and they're like, let's just go out there and kill it. And I was just too fired up, and I'm fired up now, and I'm probably going to regret, talking about all this shit, but that's what happened.
Okay, so for those that don't know, you actually did go out and wrestle.
Yes.
Is that all just a blur for you, that match? Do you even remember?
No, that match is I was just like, this is the last time I'm ever going to wrestle Samoa Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is my last match in this company.
You knew that?
Yeah, I quit. I said, I fucking quit.
So why did you even go out?
For Joe.
Right.
For Joe, for Paul Turner, the referee, for Jerry Lynn, the agent on the match, because I, respect him, and I thought it was the professional thing to do. All the fans, a lot of fans there.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of them to see me, so just go out there and give them a show.
You go to the back, what happens then? Like, your match is over, great match, what happens?
They told me Jack was told to leave, and I was like, do I gotta leave? I was like, I want to watch the show. And they're like, no, it's fine. And then, I don't know, a couple matches later, a very nice man by the name of Sam, he was in charge of security. He was like, what are your plans for the rest of the night? And I was like, I was just going to shower and just hang out, watch the show, Because I the whole solo locker room thing is fucking lame. I had Joe, I had House of Black, I had all these guys with me. And I was just like, I just want to watch your match, And then he just kind of looked at me and I went, is it easier for you in your job if I leave? And he's just like, yeah, it might be. He's like, but nobody's telling you got to go. Like and I was just like, well, Sam, I'm a man to man. I'm not trying to fuck up your day. You got a job to do. So if it's easier for you, if I split, I'll split. And then I went and got Nando's for a bunch of the boys and went to my hotel room. And, you know, when the show was over, they came by and we ate chicken.
Did you have to have a conversation? Because what was told to us was you were fired with cause. So you said quit. The devil's in the details there, but did you have a conversation with Tony to say, okay, this is it, we're done. There's not going to be, you have not talked to him?
Nope.
Really? The last time you talked to him was backstage at Wembley?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He went on air several days later and said he's never been afraid for his life like this. He's been going to shows for 30 years, felt fearful for his life, for the safety of the workers. When you saw this, what is your reaction when you see this? Not only was it it was a promo on TV, but then he also spoke to the crowd, right? There was a clip that surfaced of him talking to the people in your town, right? I believe it was in Chicago, just outside.
Yeah.
When you saw that version of the story being put out, what is your reaction?
I mean, I can't tell you what Tony felt or what he was thinking, but I never did anything that would make him fear for his life. But you know, he's who he is.
Did you feel like your reputation was being slandered? You know,
of course.
Someone hears that and you think, I'll be honest, I hear that and I like, did Punk attack Tony?
There's a concerted effort to, I guess, slander me and try to ruin my character and stuff like that. Like, and that's kind of the genesis of all the drama, you know? Like, don't do that. Why are you doing that to a guy who works for your company? Why are you lying? Why are you spreading rumors and lies and bullshit about your top guy? Doesn't make any sense. You're only hurting yourself. You're trying to dim my I don't know, you know, jealousy, envy. I don't really know. And again, it's not really the time to litigate it all and everything, but like, it's an unfortunate situation. I have a lot of friends there and there's a lot of good people that work there. I hope they continue to get paid, and I wish them well.
How would you describe what it's like working for Tony?
Man, it's a loaded question, you know, because I don't want this to be. I don't like the drama, you know. But I mean, it's the truth is the truth. Like he's not a boss. He's a nice guy, you know. And I think ultimately that is a detriment to the company. But it's not my company. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm an outsider. I thought I was brought in to, you know, sell merchandise and tickets and draw, you know, numbers for pay-per-views and stuff, and I clearly did that, but that's not what the place was about, and some people didn't like that.